It's up to you as Nancy Drew.
Hello everybody, my name is Michael Gray, and today I am playing Nancy Drew Mobile Mysteries, Shadow Ranch. Let's start Chapter 4. Now let me see, at the end of Chapter 3, Nancy, Bess, and George were all outside, and the Phantom Horse comes riding up. So what are they going to do? Chapter 4, Bad Luck Doll. The eerie white glow of the ghost horse fades into the impenetrable blackness of the desert night. Seconds earlier, Nancy feared that the horse would crash through the split rail fence and attack the ranch. Instead, the horse decided to beat a hasty retreat. "You're not really going to chase it down, are you?" Bess calls out to Nancy. "Of course I am!" Nancy yells back, already on her way. "You two stay here in case it comes back." Nancy sprints into the stables, keeping an eye on the pale horse's diminishing figure. To her surprise, Nancy finds two horses all tacked up and ready to go. She mounts the faster-looking horse, gives it a firm nudge, and rides off into the night. "Hi-ho, Silver! Away!" Nancy shouts. She leans forward in the saddle, the wind rushing in her ears as her horse gallops full tilt. She squints, barely able to keep the glowing horse in sight. Behind her, Shadow Ranch is only a distant pinpoint of light on an otherwise black horizon. Nancy expertly navigates the rocky, uneven surface. She gives her horse another nudge, and it runs even faster, closing in on the spectral glow in the distance. Suddenly, the glow stops. The ghost horse blinks out of existence. It must have taken a turn or gone down a gulch, Nancy thinks. She pulls her horse to a halt. Around her there is nothing but blackness. The light from the ranch has long since faded. Nancy silently chastises herself for rushing off into the night without a compass or a flashlight, but it's too late to worry about that now. Nancy dismounts and gives her steed a rest as she tries to figure out the best way back to the ranch. "So, how will you navigate back to the ranch? Follow the stars? Follow the horse? Or, forget going to the ranch, just try to find shelter?" If you forget about going to the ranch, it's a bad ending. This is what happens. "Well, I'm lost," Nancy announces. "Better find shelter for the night." Okay, so she searches. I'm just going to skim through this rather than reading everything. The coyote howls. This is going to be a long night, Nancy thinks, shivering. After a few long cold hours, she drifts to sleep. The next morning, she wakes up badly dehydrated, but covered with bug bites. She mounts her horse and goes back to Shadow Ranch. Once there, she sees Uncle Ed talking with the sheriff. "There she is," says Bess. "Where were you? What happened?" "Never mind that," George says. "We had to call for a search and rescue team. We thought something terrible happened to you." Nancy tells the story to everybody. "That's enough for now," Uncle Ed says. "Once you're rested, we'll have to have a talk." So later on, Uncle Ed shows up. He says, "Nancy, I'm so sorry, but Bet and I had a talk. We think it's best you go home." "What?" Nancy says. "We just don't think we can properly watch someone as adventurous as you know?" Nancy's face falls. She knows she will be unable to convince him otherwise. "I'm sorry, Nancy. As soon as things stop being so dangerous out here, we'd be glad to have you back. Until then, well, it wouldn't be right. We rescheduled your ticket and the girls will be taking you to the airport in an hour. I'm very sorry." With that, he leaves. Nancy sits on the bed, frustrated about leaving this mystery. Okay, so as I said, that is the bad ending. You obviously do not want that to happen to Nancy. What you should do is follow the stars or follow the horse. Either option takes you back to the ranch safely. The horse might know the way back, Nancy thinks. I'll let it choose the direction to take, and I'll stop to check for tracks along the way. Nancy remounts the horse and waits for the horse to pick a direction. After a minute or two, Nancy pulls the horse to a halt and crouches down to check for hoof prints. Even though it's too dark to follow the tracks, there's just there's just enough moonlight for Nancy to verify she's headed in the right direction. So I guess basically she just turns around and follows her own trail. Okay, that makes sense. Good thinking, Nancy. She climbs back on and lets the horse lead the way back to the ranch. Soon enough, she spots the welcoming glow of Shadow Ranch. What happened? Bess asks as Nancy slides off her mount. I couldn't catch it, Nancy admits. It was just too fast. Well, and it had a head start. Don't blame yourself, Nancy. You gave it your best shot. I'll have to be quicker next time. What do you think it was? Bess asks, concerned. You don't think it was really Dirk's horse, do you? No, Nancy says, as she leads her horse back to the barn and almost runs into Tex, who scowls at her. What makes you think you could take out a horse without going through me first? He fumes. The horse was tacked up and ready to go, she replies, and it was sort of an emergency. Sorry to hear that. Who passed away? No one. Okay, where was the fire? There wasn't one. Did Timmy fall into the well again? Okay, Nancy relents. I get the picture. I have to go through you to get a horse. Music to my ears. Now we got ourselves a horseshoe emergency in the tack room, and since you're our self-appointed first responder, don't let me stand in your way. Now get! So what do? Do you put away the horseshoes, or do you ask Bess to help you put away the horseshoes? These two options are pretty much exactly the same. So I'm going to try to find the horseshoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I lost count. There's another one on the saddle. One on this saddle? No. One on that saddle, though. Okay, one more. Where is that final horseshoe? Here it is. Yay, you found all the hidden objects! As Nancy puts away the last horseshoe, she finds a small wooden whistle underneath the bridle. She picks it up and blows on it, but finds that the end is smashed. I wonder if this is the source of the odd whistle at night, she says to herself. But why would someone hide it in here? She shows it to Bess and George, who are lounging on the front porch swing. Ah, no wonder Tex is so touchy about the horses, George says. He's the one behind this ghost horse nonsense. He's trained the horse to respond to the whistle. This doesn't prove anything, Bess pipes up. It could just be a regular whistle. And what makes you so sure that this is all just a hoax? Experience? Nancy offers with a smile. So what's on the agenda for today? George wants to go out to a ghost town, but I think I'll stay here and keep an eye on things. Bess, a ghost town has nothing to do with ghosts. It's just an expression. And Tex won't let us go out there alone, which means... Cowboy chaperones? Bess asks excitedly. Give me 10 minutes and I'll be ready.